I know you're listening to this, and I know that you can't.
Hello. So I thought it's Sunday night, I'm just gonna do a little catch up before the week begins, get my head focused and sorted, get the mindset in, and so I thought I'd share a few things with you. First up, my hair. I don't know what's going on with it. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Maybe it's the extra greens I'm eating. I don't know. It's actually, my hair is really good at the moment. It needs a bit of a brush, but that's one thing I have noticed over the past week. The more greens I've been eating, the stronger my nails are becoming. And I've had a breakthrough yet again with my breathing, which is just so cool. I had 2 days where I woke up and I didn't need my inhaler, and I made it all the way through to 11:30, and then I think it's a bit of psychological thing going on there, because I kind of needed to take it before I went to bed, before I brushed my teeth, and I suddenly had a kind of like a revelation for myself that I think I'm addicted to my inhaler. Of course I am. I've been taking it for years and years and years, and so much over the last year. You know, I've been taking it 4 times a day, 5 times a day, and you know, you should not be taking your blue inhaler 4 times a day. And I really do get wheezy. I have all the symptoms and everything, but I'm very quick to take my inhaler. And what I've been doing in the last few days is just leaving it for a little while, and then after half an hour, well, then my symptoms have gone, which is brilliant. So I'm breathing through my nose, breathing deeper, trying to put my shoulders down a bit more, because I find that I'm often quite tense, and that comes from this asthma thing. But having, you know, lots of extra greens is helping. I've had a bit of a rubbish weekend. Bleep! I want to say another word there. But as in with eating, it's been mainly good, but I've had a few little sugary items here and there, and I'm eating them going, I don't even like this, but it's kind of like old habits kicking in, and so I want a fresh new slate for this week. So I have some good reading I want to share with you, and the first one is dun dun dun, Evie's Kitchen, which is actually one of my favourite books in the whole wide world. It's by Shazzy, who is a lovely friend of mine, and this is actually her daughter Evie, and this book is brilliant, and I really recommend it if you're a mother and if you're not a mother, because I think there's about 300 recipes in here, and they are brilliant, and a lot of them don't require a dehydrator. In fact, some of my favourite recipes in here are the soups that Shazzy shares with us. And there's like a whole big section on parenting and motherhood and parenthood in general, and Shazzy does share a lot of her personal insights about being a mother. So this is an invaluable book to me, and I dip into it a lot, and this is going to be a book that I dip into a lot for the next few months, but particularly this week, and then I want to get into the rhythm. I want to learn some of the recipes and just make them. So Evie's Kitchen, which you can buy from detoxyourworld.com. It's a fabulous book. Also, another book which I love at the moment is this one. This is Alicia Silverstone's The Kind Diet, and it is a kind book. It's very, very nicely written. Alicia Silverstone writes probably how she speaks, because that's how it comes across. And Alicia Silverstone used to be very much into the raw food movement, and now she's just into very much just plant-based, so it doesn't have to be raw, but she has a very good balance, and look at her, she looks quite good, doesn't she? But she has lots of very good recipes in here, and I think if you're sort of making some personal changes with your diet, this is a good book to get, because it's about being kind to the planet, it's about being kind to animals, and it's about being kind to yourself. So this is a good one for recipes that will then enable you then to maybe move on to this book, which is this is a brilliant book, and you know, perhaps this is the transition onto this one. In saying that, if you are a mum, get this, because it's got stuff about breastfeeding, vaccinations, and loads of little recipes to give to your child as well as yourself. But these are my 2 favourite books at the moment. Then I have another book which I'm finding to be quite invaluable, and this is called Detox for Women. And I know there are possibly some guys watching this, but I think it's quite fair to say that most people watching this are girls. Detox for Women, don't be put off by the title, because you kind of might get the idea that you're just detoxing the whole time, and it's not like that. In fact, I think that's not the best title for this book. But Natalia Rose, this lady here, again, superb writer. She writes how she speaks. In fact, all the women in these books I have, they do that. They write honestly from the heart, and they share their personal experiences, which I find to be invaluable. But this is a plan that you can follow for 30 days, and then of course beyond. And again, it's it's like half raw and half cooked. It's very balanced in that respect, and you don't need to eat 100% raw to get the benefits from eating fresh, live, plant-based foods. She includes a little fish in this and goat's cheese, and I just find her recipes very easy to follow. And I followed this for a week a few weeks ago and lost 3 pounds, and I felt amazing. So this is also featuring especially in the next week. And then the last one is this, Covent Garden Book of Soups. And what I'll be doing is just looking at the soups for inspiration, and then kind of like making my own, and sort of like looking between this and Eva's Kitchen, which has some very amazing raw soups in there, and also Detox for Women. I just hold all the books up at the same time. These are the best books. I need to not just lose weight, as you know. I need to get my breathing sorted. I need to align my body in such a way that my body is able to deal with certain things. Not explaining myself very well, but what I mean is, if you're asthmatic, you'll understand. Digestion features very, very prominently in any disease that's out there. So the better your digestion, and the better it all sort of like goes through your body, and then at the other end, the better it is for you as a person, especially as an asthma sufferer. So you don't need to suffer from asthma. And blending foods like soups, that's why soups to me are very important, and smoothies. And so for my next week, my plan is get up, do a bit of stretching, bit of rebounding, have some water with some cell food in, which is like oxygen in water form, or oxygen water form. I'll talk about that at a later date. And also, maybe some coconut water if I've got some to hand. And then when I feel like it, I'm going to have my green smoothie. And my green smoothie will consist mainly of vegetable juice like kale, celery, carrot, and then maybe 1 apple, because it just kind of sweetens it a bit for me. And then I will be blending in with that leaves and maybe some wheatgrass powder, barley grass powder, chlorophyll. So like green, 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 green. But it's also delicious. Loads of ice, half a lemon or a whole lemon. And that will sort of last me through the morning. Then lunchtime, it's soup time for me. This is it, soup for lunch. That's all I want. And it's going to be as many greens in there as possible. So lots of leaves, broccoli, anything that's green. And maybe some baked sweet potato or raw sweet potato. I actually had a raw sweet potato soup a few weeks ago, and my gosh, it was delicious. You do need, I think, a high-speed blender for some of these, if you're going to blend things like sweet potato without cooking them. But it just kind of shatters the cellular wall of the sweet potato, so it's all creamy and lovely, and it doesn't taste all weird and bitty. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing for the next week. Soups for lunch, maybe with a flax cracker or two, and maybe some hemp oil drizzled over, all good for the asthma. And then for dinner, I'm going to have a big salad, grated cabbage, grated beetroot, grated carrot, chopped celery, half an avocado, sprinkling walnuts, maybe a bit of fish, and maybe an egg. I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of eggs. Just anything, but like big salad, maybe some steamed vegetables, and that's going to be it basically. And but combining all these books that I've just talked about, I will be not just losing the weight, but completely eradicating the need for my inhaler. So I hope that's helped you a little bit. It's kind of good to plan and visualise. I'm just about to actually plan my week of meals. My friend does that, and she swears by it, not only for her budget, but because it just helps her to organise. And then of course you just eat what is planned. It's like a menu. I will not veer off from that menu. So have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
And I'll pray for you every day. You feel a glowing light around.